Hiya, and welcome back to Homecoming Morenatsu Revisited. The game that teaches us that harder. Anyways, let's just hop right in. I grimace as I speed up the pace of my walking, realization setting in. I'm already late. Kyouji called me when he got home last night. His voice was a bit shaky, but he said it went well. I slept better after hearing from him. And then I spent an unusual length of time this morning trying to prepare for whatever my boyfriend had planned. Boyfriend. Just imagining that word with this face in my mind makes me feel... It just feels so... Glad you could finally make it, hero. Magical. I blush and rub the back of my head in embarrassment. Sorry. I had to get ready. My fur was being unruly. And then Grandma was teasing me for trying to look nice. A grin comes to the canine's face as he looks me up and down. It's become much easier to tell when he's actually winking at me. It's fine, hero. Your fur's beautiful. Well worth the wait. Kyouji!
We're in public.
The Labrador laughs as I push him toward the Rymon entrance, my face no doubt lit up like a Christmas tree. I have a D20. Like, in my hand right now, I have a D20. Still, that felt really good to hear. Once again, I'm at the Rymon, but unlike the other days I've spent here, today's for a different reason. My heart flutters when I glance at Kyouji, only to see him smiling back at me. I'm assuming you don't want to sit at the bar, right? A cheeky grin crosses my face and I shake my head, staring up into the canine's eyes. I guess a booth will be good enough. He gives a theatrical bow and motions for me to follow the way. To lead the way. I take this as an opportunity to lightly swat him with my tail. We both take our seats across from one another, noting that we appear to be the only other couple here. Nearby, an elderly weasel and a boy who appears to be his son are enjoying their food. I hope you don't mind the Rymon again. I would have liked to take you to Kazunari, but it isn't exactly romantic to go on a bus ride for our first official date. I can't help the warmth that spreads across my face as I hear Kyoji's words. They seem to confirm something that I just have to ask. If this is our first official date, does that make us... The canine spreads his hands out apologetically, his smile adopting an edge of shyness that I'm not accustomed to seeing. It's quite adorable. I was... asking myself that same question on the walk here. I know I've been a pain in the ass. I ate a lot from you and I'm pretty sure it hasn't exactly been a good way to spend your summer vacation here. He retracts his hands into a ball on the tabletop, his thumbs circling themselves with a nervous energy. The messed up things with my father. And the awful things I said and did to you. I hesitate for a moment, struggling to remember. The truth is, I allowed that memory to blur because that was the day I saw Kyouji almost break. Can't deny being almost terrified. But over the past few days, the picture I've had in my mind is not the suffering young man in that gymnasium. When I think of Kyouji, I instead see the same man leaning over me, claiming me as his own. Oh! Oh. He isn't without his battle scars, but his posture is strong and proud. Somewhere in the world, there was a demon and he came back to me after he had beaten it. I feel like I started this all backwards when you let me in that night. So, when you return to Osaka, if you end up thinking this was all too much for you, I'll understand. I just wanted you to know how much I love you. And if or when you come back to Minasato, Labrador takes a deep breath as if he had forgotten how to breathe over the course of this confession. I'm going to be a better man for you. I don't know if there's an appropriate word to describe what this means to me. It's a powerful feeling and it leaves me immediately reaching out, covering his hands with my own. My face must be as red as a tomato as I reach my feet towards under the table to wrap behind his leg. The same electricity I felt from the other night courses through me as we make contact. You really know how to drive a guy wild, you know. I guess I still have a few tricks. I give his hands a reassuring squeeze and smile, losing myself in his eyes. Son of a bitch! Fuck! Fuck! Damn it! I just remembered that he was a dog. I just remembered that he was a dog. Damn it! damn it! I keep forgetting! The hair is throwing me off! The hair is throwing me off! And it keeps on... It is a mind fuck every single time. Every single time I remember that he's a Labrador, it is a mind fuck. Oh no, you're fine, Mordex. You just have me over here being a dumbass. And forgetting that this is a dog and not a human person. My ass keeps forgetting. And every single time I realize that that is not a human person, that is a dog, it is a mindfuck. I don't know, it's just not registering. I don't fucking know. It's the muzzle. Like, I go by general outline of a character. Most of the time, I go by general outline. His silhouette is that... No! It's the shade of his fur and his hair, as well as his silhouette. It is a mindfuck every single time I remember that he isn't human. It is a mindfuck every single time. Fuck! Damn it! No, mods, don't put me in gay baby jail, I'll go there myself. I give his hand a reassuring squeeze and smile, losing myself in his eyes. I'm happy to be your boyfriend, Kyouji. Oh, good timing. Juichi, you bitch. We both freeze as Juichi suddenly comes into focus behind the table. I guess we'd been too caught up in our conversation to notice the bear walking towards us. I was hoping to... Is this about time? No, you haven't had the chance to see Hiroyuki as much as the rest of us. Damn, I still have my hand around Kyoji's. I slowly slide my hands back to my lap, trying to do the same with my legs without moving my upper body. Yeah. The more the merrier. Are you gonna miss us, Yuki? Oh god! I feel my heart sink as Torahiko suddenly approaches. Damn it, a Torahiko spawned! As I look up at him, he stares back at me and smiles. I mean, you could just drop out and stay here. Juichi takes in a sharp breath before turning his attention to the tiger. Tora, maybe we shouldn't intrude. Why are you being weird? You guys don't mind company, right? Kyouji taps the top of my shoe with his own under the table as if to silently reassure me. Turns his attention to our two friends and smiles. If Hiroyuki doesn't mind, then it's fine by me. I force a smile at Torahiko before patting the spot next to me on the booth. Honestly, it isn't like I don't want to see him again before I leave. But... I'm terrified. I turn Torahiko down for Kyouji, and yet here we all are. I watch as the tiger takes the seat beside me while Juichi sits next to the canine sitting across from me. Tora suddenly turns his attention to the bar, calling out to the owner. Hey, Pops! A couple of glasses of oolong tea, please? Yeah, give me a minute. The usual 5-star rhyme on service. The tiger turns to face me, flashing a grin, although I can see in his eyes. He's trying to keep up appearances. So, the guys mentioned you quit the soccer club, Kyouji. What happened? Kyouji hisses air through the side of his mouth, seeming to struggle for an acceptable truth to tell him. I just realized that it wasn't really me, but rather what my dad expected of me. I'm sorry if I worried you guys, I just had a bit of soul searching to do. Notice as Juichi's expression changes and I realize that he knows what Kyouji means. Tono has been especially worried. You should talk to him. Yeah, it's gonna be a long conversation for sure. I glance at the Labrador, our eyes meeting as he glances back at me. Did you want me to be there? Pursing his lips, he shakes his head, letting his hands curl back into that nervous ball. I must have missed a lot. The canine rubs his arm gently, turning to face Torahiko and shaking his head slightly. Sorry, I've actually kept a lot from everyone. Hiroyuki has been the only one I've told everything to. Has everything worked out at least? It has, yes. I have more hours at my job coming up. I've been getting over some health problems. I've started dating someone. He rattles the 3 topics off on his fingers, the last of which has my breath catching in my throat. Juichi quickly glances to me, and I can see the ghost of a smile form before his eyes are focusing back on Kyouji. I see. That's good news. I almost have a response formed on my lips when I catch sight of Torahiko's face. He's looking down at the table like it's suddenly begun to sink in the middle. Ah! Damn! Torahiko cannot catch a break. Torahiko damn it! I dropped my fucking D20. Damn it! Alright, I have it. Torahiko cannot catch a break to save his life. And it shows. He's looking down at the table like it's suddenly begun to sink in the middle. Perhaps somewhere in the darkness there's a truth that he wasn't quite ready to see. Suddenly stands up and slaps the table, putting on a smile he hasn't seen us in years. You know what? That's amazing! My dad can be a real dick too, so I'm glad you got out of whatever crap he put you in. I'm proud of you. Juichi cocks his head at the strange outburst before letting himself mirror the tiger's smile. Kyouji looks equally confused for a moment before he lets himself break into a smile at the praise. Thank you, that really means a lot. Torahiko suddenly shuffles himself back into a seat until he's facing me. There's no doubt in my mind that he's trying to communicate something with his body. His arms are open between the tabletop and slung over the back of the booth cushion. Ugh. I hate to be that guy, but I completely forgot what I was supposed to even be doing in town. Dad's gonna kick my ass if I'm not back soon with those supplies. Tiger reaches over and clamps a hand down on mine, jostling my arm in a way that seemed to convey a wish for me to take care. In all likelihood, there was more than that. I can see from his eyes that he truly understands what has happened. Will we see you guys tomorrow night? There's gonna be a meteor shower after all. Oh right, everyone will be there if I'm not mistaken. Reach my free hand out and place it atop Tora's, thanking him with my eyes. Of course, I wouldn't miss it. With a smile that I know is masking something even deeper, the tiger stands up, glancing over at Juichi. Come on, big guy, I need some help lifting these things. Look of surprise makes its way to the bear's face before realization sets in. With a smile, he nods and rises to his feet. Oh, of course. Hey, Pops! Can we get our drink to go? Okay. How many times do I have to explain that I just keep forgetting that he is a dog. I keep forgetting. And it is a mind fuck every single time I remember. I know my explanation is not good enough. I don't know why my brain does this. That's what my brain does. It ignores the blatantly obvious dog nose. Honestly, half the time I forget the ears are there. My brain ignores the dog nose and forgets that the ears are there. Nose means muzzle in this context. fucking know? Have you seen The Simpsons? My brain is not braining. His ass is not a Simpson. My brain does not like braining. Hey, Pops, can we get our drinks to go? Damn you, Shima. I just got done pouring them, you bastard. As Torahiko and Kyouji walk over to the bar, hear the telltale sound of Kyoji's chuckle. That was interesting. Finally, I got my ear to pop. Damn it! That was interesting. I gulp, rubbing the back of my head. Do you think they know? No doubt in my mind. With a smile, the Labrador reaches out and takes my hands into his, tracing his thumbs over the top of them. I don't think we were particularly subtle there. Releasing my hands, Kyouji stands up before pressing a kiss to my forehead. Can't help but blush at this very public display of affection. Wait here, I'll be back with our drinks. Giving my boyfriend a nod, I let my own smile return, watching as he makes his way to the bar. Kyouji and I spend the rest of our time in the Raimon reminiscing and enjoying our food. After a couple hours, we decide to spend the rest of our date walking around the village together. You know what? If you're gonna break my bones, you're gonna break my bones, can you at least use a baseball bat? The sun is already beginning to set when we arrive back at my grandparents' house. Take a moment to really let the beauty sink in. It's going to be difficult to be away from this. Turning to face Kyouji, I give him a sad smile when he returns. Hopefully he'll give some serious thought to moving back. I respond with a nod, reaching out to him in a silent request for his embrace. I want to go wherever you are. As I am gently pulled into his arms, the canine softly traces his fingers through my hair. You know what? Sticks and stones may break my bones. I'm going to leave you with this little bit of wisdom that I learned from a cartoon. The phrase should not be, what doesn't kill you makes you stronger. The phrase should be, what doesn't kill you will try again later. Whether or not this deal works out with Mr. Aichi, I'm gonna make sure I have somewhere for you to stay. Can't help but giggle at how earnestly he stated his goal. A cheeky smile comes to my face and I look up into his eyes. Are you gonna give me kids too? He stifles a snort of laughter, responding instead by capturing my lips with his own. The kiss is brief, too brief, but as our lips part from each other, I rest my head on his chest. My smile fades slightly as I sigh, and I stare up at the Labrador once again. Have you spoken to your mom about what happened? As I ask my question, I lightly brush my fingertips over his nose and muzzle, my thumb tracing his lips. He smiles at me, giving the tip of my thumb a soft kiss. I have... Kind of. Kind of? He inhales deeply, seeming almost like he's devouring the air for a few moments before turning to me with a decent answer. I left certain things out, but I think she understands. It was tough to see her cry, but... Do you think she knew about Mr. Tono? I don't know. He whispers his response to me, letting his hands trail to the small of my back as he pulls me closer to him. Do you think I did the right thing by telling her if she didn't? I shake my head and nuzzle into his chest. I think I'd want to know if I were her, and I'd be glad my son was brave enough to tell me. His hands trail further down and find their mark under my tail. We fall into silence as I memorize the taste and sensation of his lips with my own. We hold on to one another, sharing kiss after soft kiss until the porch light flickers to life. I blow him one last kiss from the palm of my hand before turning around and racing to catch Grandma at the door. Like a gentleman, he watches until I'm safely behind the door before he turns to make the jog home. Oh, Grandma knows. Oh no. Oh no. You can't hide shit from her. I can only hope he can leave the monster buried for good. You know what? You know what? I have a headcanon. Because it'd be hilarious. You know what? I have a headcanon, and it would be hilarious. And the developer can confirm this, and he probably won't. I headcanon that Grandma secretly writes yaoi fanfiction about her husband, and he reads it. She writes yaoi fanfiction about her husband and the mayor. Sometimes Mr. Aichi. And he reads it. And instead of being weirded out, he points out their grammatical errors. Instead of being upset about the fact that his wife is writing gay fanfiction about him, he points out their grammatical errors. That is my headcanon. But it's sad that it's not canon. I'm sad now, just kidding. No, I'm not. She's so fucking shit. They're quite traditional, but she is understanding and accepting. Oh. I'm still gonna keep my head canon, even though it's not canon. We respect you. Not bad, hero. You've been keeping up really well lately. I slow my jog into a walk and hang my arms behind my head, taking in deep breaths of the still cool morning air. At least I don't feel like I need to be sick. Good, because we should make this a regular thing in the future. If Kyouji had said this only a week ago, I would have protested. There's something about being with someone you love that can change your perspective on things. I'm unable to fight back the cheeky grin that makes its way to my face. I thought you liked how I look, Kyouji. Just because I find you irresistible, that doesn't mean you shouldn't neglect your health. He matches my grin with one of his own, flashing me a wink. My face warming up, I whirl around, trying to reassure myself that we're out of earshot from anyone who may be around. With a chuckle, he reaches towards me and traces his fingers across my cheek. Give me a moment while I drop the bag off with Mr. Aichi. Then we can take a shower together. Oh my! Kyouji! Pretty much. Pretty much. Kyouji! My boyfriend laughs as I let my tail swing around and hide behind it. Having sufficiently teased me, the Labrador jogs the rest of the distance to the entrance of Mr. Aichi's newspaper office. We're gonna become moist. I hope he wasn't kidding. Hang on, I'm just gonna... Moist. After knocking on the door, I peer into Mr. Aichi's small office. The bull glances out at me, eyebrow raised as I bow to him. All houses accounted for, sir. Are you going to say that every time you run the paper out? Rubbing the back of my head, I give a slight nod. Yes, sir. Folding his arms, Mr. Aichi reaches for one of his cigarettes, sticking it into the corner of his mouth. With a grunt, he gives what looks to be a grin and shakes his head. I like it. Keep it up, kid. Yes, sir. I'm just about to leave when Mr. Aichi stands up and walks over to me. Wait a minute, gotta talk to you first. Sit down, Takahara. My mouth goes dry as I follow his directions, sitting in one of the chairs in front of his desk. He sits in the other chair, inhaling smoke from the cigarette in his mouth before breathing it out. Did I get a complaint? I ask the first question that comes to mind, terrified of the answer. There's been no complaints about you lately, especially since you returned to the morning run. You've been through a hell of a lot lately, but in spite of it all, you came back without any complaints. You can't buy that level of work ethic. I suppose my point is, I want you to be as good as you think you can be. With a deep sigh, I rub the back of my head. Am I being let go? The silence is deafening. No way in hell! Are you trying to give me a heart attack? You're only going when you say you're going. Huh? I stare at my boss in surprise as a warm smile appears on his face. Listen to me, Takahara. You can work full-time for me as long as you like after school is over. But I have an offer for you and it will be on the table for whenever you want it. Despite what happened, you still got a good head on your shoulders, kid. Come to think of you as a son I never had. The bull's eyes suddenly narrow, and after dropping the cigarette into an ashtray, he leans in closer. Keep that to yourself, got it? Yes, sir. Good, now as for my offer. I want to send you to university, kid. Call it poetic justice. Aww. Just as I'm considering going inside to see if everything is okay, I hear the sound of a nearby door opening. As Kyouji's unmistakable figure emerges, I breathe a sigh of relief. That took a while, are you okay? The Labrador looks at me with an odd expression, one of mixed amusement and disbelief. Mr. Aichi offered to pay for my university tuition. Huh? That was my response at first, too. An amused smile on his lips, he leans back against the wall and shakes his head. It's all so hard to believe. I told him I'd think about it. I can't believe what I'm hearing. What's there to think about? Moving away from the wall, he motions for me to walk with him as he talks, his hands returning to their usual place within his pockets. There's a couple of things. Most importantly, I want to find a way to help Mom with the bills. I really don't want her working 2 jobs anymore. The second one is you. I feel Kyouji's eyes on me even before I look up from the road. Little beads of sweat in his hair catch the morning sunlight behind him. The power in that simple little statement answers something I'd wondered yesterday. I'm looking at a man who clearly wants to spend a long time with me. Don't worry about me. I dash in front of him and take his hands in mine, not caring if anyone can see us. I'll get a job and support us both while you go to school. And if I have anything left over, you can send it to your mom. I couldn't ask you to do that. Shaking my head, I give his hands a gentle squeeze. It's a good thing you're not asking me. I want to do this for you, Kyouji. Little smile that forms on his lips tells me that he appreciates the thought, even if he isn't quite convinced. But I've already complicated your life enough. No, you haven't. I gently pull one of his hands towards me so that it's touching my chest. I was terrified of the end of this summer because it's the last one. I'll need to find a job soon and... An image of Dad flashes in my head. Tired. Grouchy. But I understand him better now. I need to stop being a kid, and it was a scary thought. I don't think I'll truly understand him. And I'm sure I'm about to disappoint him further with this little secret. But I'm no longer afraid to carry that briefcase of his, because I finally understand what makes him brave enough to carry it himself. Until I realized I would have had someone to come home to. Kyouji stays silent as I finish my confession. I said more words in my head than I did aloud, but somehow I'm sure he heard them all anyway. If you're willing to do this with me, I might take him up on his offer after all. Let me think about it some more, okay? With a smile, I nod my head, releasing his hands and taking my place beside him. Signaling for him to lead the way, I can only hope there's nobody at home at his place. I'm still hoping we can have that shower together. It'd suck if we went to all this trouble only for it to end up the same as last year.
Shh! Don't say that. You'll jinx it.
Wait, what happened last year? I lay the old blanket down in a free spot, making sure the grass underneath is soft. It appears as if Shun, Konosuke, and I are the first ones here in the special spot Torahiko picked out for us. I'm struggling to believe that Konosuke somehow wasn't the last to arrive. It was about 3 rocks, and then it was over.
It wasn't that short.
Yes, it was! I waited all day to get pictures of the meteor shower, but I got nothing! I know my husband is early, and I love him.
You got there super late anyway.
Well, not today. Konosuke Kuri is about to set the photograph world on fire. The photography world on fire. I chuckle as I watch the back and forth between the two. This is just like when we were younger.
Saving a spot for me on that blanket here, Yuki.
The loud, boisterous voice of a familiar dragon pulls me from my reminiscing. As I look up at him, I get a wicked image of him trying to spoon me, and Kyouji showing up more than a little upset. With a shy smile, I shake my head. Sorry, big guy, but this spot is reserved.
Wait.
You're bringing a date tonight? I'm bombarded with questions from the three, and I start to shuffle back a little. No. No way, hero. You hesitated. Who's the lucky guy? My face heats up instantly, and I hide behind my tail. Watch him make some clean-cut city boy. He's probably super hot, right? Did I hear someone was bringing their boyfriend? Should I go back to the old Kyouji voice? My heart jumps into my chest as Kyouji approaches, a grin on his face. The other three make way for him, only to gape as he takes his place next to me on the blanket. Even though I know he's not wearing the mask anymore, just for the funnies. Nah, I'm not going to. Turning to me, the Labrador flashes me a wink, causing my throat to go dry. I'm curious as well. Is he good looking? I can only nod, my face feeling like it's on fire, but I'm unable to look away from the man sitting right next to me. I know I'm going to give it away, but Kyouji simply crosses his legs and smiles at me, as if to silently encourage me.
Wait a minute.
I can make him tease in his proper voice. Actually, let me reread that in the new voice. Hang on, let me just... Did I hear someone was bringing their boyfriend? Let me reread that. My heart jumps into my chest as Kyouji approaches, a grin on his face. The other three make way for him, only to gape as he takes his place next to me on the blanket. Turning to me, the Labrador flashes me a wink, causing my throat to go dry. I'm curious as well. Is he good looking? I can only nod, my face feeling like it's on fire, but I'm unable to look away from the man sitting right next to me. Labrador. Yes, I read it. I know I'm going to give it away, but Kyouji simply crosses his legs and smiles at me as if to silently encourage me.
Wait a minute, are you and Kyouji?
Once again, I nod, turning to shyly face my other friends. Yeah. For a few days now. Trying to add details to give more color to my voice other than just nervous. Thankfully, Kyouji takes the lead and continues for me. I had been thinking about him for a while, and... He turns to the others and holds his hands out in front of him. After the camping trip, I realized he meant something more to me, so I took a chance. Konosuke's eyes seem to gleam, and I'm too late to prevent the sudden onslaught of questions he throws our way. You landed a soccer captain on your first try. That's amazing. So, how do you even compare that with girls? Hey, weren't you dating the student council president, Kyouji? Damn, hero, how smooth are you? Former soccer captain, actually, and yes. Saw you and I were together for a while. As I attempt to process the Tanuki's questions, Tatsuki glances at us, asking his own question. Do your parents know, or is it just us? No, but there will be a time for that. For now, it's just our friends. I glance back to my boyfriend, our eyes meeting as he silently reassures me. Soon after that, the rest of our friends arrive, with one notable exception. I see Taro didn't make it. Kyouji heaves a sigh as he drums his fingers against his chest. I noticed that too. I'm sure Shima told him we'd be here, and he's never late to anything. Taro's absence stings a little, but between the two of us, we also understand why he isn't here. I'd rather not voice the potential reason. I have a feeling Rumiko spoke with him. Placing one of my hands on his, I gaze at him in concern. You want me to try and reach out to him? I can call his house once I'm back in Osaka, or... No, I'll talk with him soon. Made a promise that I would try to do my best by him from now on. I frowned, giving the canine's hands a gentle squeeze. You're not responsible for cleaning up your dad's mess. Okay. Dialogue interrupts. What are the dialogue interrupts? Where are those at? Are they in options? Where is it? Because I'll try it. Oh, there they are. Those are words. Alright, I'm going to turn dialogue interruptions off. But yeah. You're not responsible for cleaning up your dad's mess. I'm sure Taro knows that too. I know, but... He returns to the hold on my hands and smiles. It makes me feel better.
Oh, it's starting!
An excited whisper to my left catches our ears and we stare up at the night sky.
There's one right there!
A few odd murmurs follow Shun's words as the tiny light streaks across the sky. With a shy smile, I give Kyouji a gentle nudge. Let's make a wish together. It's the first shooting star you see that you wish on, right? I don't know if it really matters, but I'll wish for something nonetheless. The two of us fall silent, no doubt making our respective wishes. My wish isn't for me. The wish I once had has already come true. No, my wish is for him. Hiroyuki. Kyoji's soft voice breaks the silence we share. The timid way he speaks almost has me nervous. Yes, Kyouji? An uncomfortable silence follows, and as I glance over at the Labrador, I can see he's already looking back at me. I think I will take Mr. Aichi's offer. I'd like to study something that will allow me to give something back. To help people like me someday. I pause momentarily, absent-mindedly trailing my finger over his. Will you be fine with me following you if you have to leave Minasato? 3 glittering streaks race across the night sky, followed by an excited howl from Torahiko somewhere lower on the hill. Suddenly I'm aware of Kyoji's hand curling around mine, the canine leaning over to kiss me on my cheek. It'd be like taking a piece of home with me, no matter where I go. With my smile returning, I turn to face him. I already know what I want to tell him. You wouldn't just help people like you, Kyouji. You'd be helping people like Taro, too. As the sky continues to put on its performance, I brought into Kyoji's arms and I rest my head against his chest. His fingers gently trace along my fur as we silently watch the rest of the show. The meteor shower turned out to be much more climactic than anyone expected. I won't lie, for a few moments I was convinced it would never end. Had anyone suggested we just stay out here all night, I might have done it, on the condition that Kyouji could stay too. I spot Torahiko glancing over at me while Kyouji is busy packing his picnic blanket. Is everything alright? You've gone quiet. Cast a glance back over at the tiger, noticing he now has his hands in his pockets, eyes downcast. From the way he's swaying from the balls of his feet to his toes, he's undoubtedly trying to give the impression of nonchalance. And failing miserably. Hey Kyouji, do you mind if I walk home with Torahiko? As I make a gesture towards the tiger with my thumb, he seems to notice, rubbing a hand over his head in embarrassment. Things were a little off with Tora the other day, and I shouldn't leave Minasato without fixing it. Oh, I didn't know you two were fighting. Is there anything I can do to help? I shake my head and reach out to squeeze his hand. We're not exactly fighting, but don't worry. I see you tomorrow morning? A warm smile appears on the Labrador's face as he squeezes my hand back. I'll walk you to the bus stop myself. I love you. Once again, my face heats up and I can't help but sigh as he disappears into the night. Love, huh? I inhale sharply as I hear the unmistakable voice of Torahiko. If there was any doubt in my mind that he didn't know about Kyouji and I, there isn't now. With a sigh, I turn to face him, giving a bitter smile. I wanted to tell you, I didn't know how. I didn't want to hurt you again so soon after a trail off, but it's clear we both know exactly what I mean. Memories of that day are still fresh in both of our minds. I understand. I actually figured it out when I saw you both yesterday. You both looked happy. I didn't want... The tiger attempts to force a smile, but it doesn't hold, and he just sighs and shakes his head. Sorry, I'm holding you up. Everyone's already gone home. Tora, let's walk together. Just like old times. Make a gesture towards the road. It's the same one we walked every day from school. I suppose this is a fitting end to my last night in Minasato, even if it's on some slightly awkward terms. Torahiko scratches behind his neck and considers the road, but the little smile he gives tells me all I need to know. I'm sorry, Yuki. I really messed everything up. The sudden apology takes me back, and I can hear from his voice that he's trying his hardest to not break down. Tora, you didn't do anything wrong. Yes, I did! I flinch as I hear his sudden outburst. As I turn to face him, I see something that makes my heart sink. Tears streak down the tiger's face, his shoulders shaking as he stares down at the ground, showing clear signs of shame. Any other person would have invited their best friend back home to just be friends. Instead of doing that, I put pressure on you because of how I felt. How I still feel. Mouth once again going dry, I reach a hand up to touch his shoulder. As I hesitate, he leans into my touch, trembling softly as he attempts to compose himself. You're my best friend, Tora. That will never change. The tiger shakily reaches up to rub his hand across his eyes. You're my best friend too, Yuki. Before I can help myself, I rush forward and wrap my arms tight around him. The little quake in his voice is too much for me to bear. I can't just make him cry and leave town. Not again. I'd already seen that once in my lifetime. A cloud of dust from the dirt as I'm ripped away from the one place I called home. And a tiger, so small that his hands weren't big enough to hide the misery streaming from his eyes as he watched me being driven away. I'm scared I ruined Minasato for you. Minasato is my home, and you are my family. Given a half-hearted chuckle in response before he reaches around me to complete the embrace. Promise me you'll come back in winter. I need to make it up to you. To both of you. I'll need a brief moment to consider my answer. I promise. As long as you promise, you'll both still be friends. Torahiko says nothing, but from the way he tightens his hold, I know he agrees. When we finally part from the hug, I can see the beginnings of a genuine smile appear on my friend's lips. If anyone deserves you, it's Kyouji. He's been through a lot lately. Do you think you can keep an eye on him for me while I'm gone? Tor slips his hands into his pockets before turning back to our path on the road. Of course. Don't you know what happens when you put all the horny people in horny jail? I can't help the smile that comes to my face as my eyes sleepily open, feeling the warmth of the man I love next to me. As if in response to my waking murmur, Kyouji gently tightens his embrace, drawing me against him. My smile widens as he places a soft kiss to my neck. Good morning, hero. The canine gives a soft groan as he suddenly stretches before moving so that I'm laying beneath him. Staring into my eyes, he gently caresses my face with the tips of his fingers. My heart beats steadily as I gaze back at my boyfriend, a stark contrast to the rapid thumps of last night. Giving a goofy smile, I lean up to press my lips to his. Hiroyuki, are you awake? Breakfast is almost ready. Just a minute, Grandma! I grimace as Kyouji pulls away from me quickly, leaving me suddenly missing his warmth. I'm certain my grandmother can't see through the walls, so the way he drops to the floor and crawls to the window seems a bit much. Wait, you forgot your pants! Lean down and snatch up Kyoji's clothes from the floor, tossing them to him as he opens the window soundlessly. How? I have to admit that I'm impressed with Kyoji's escape. He manages to dress himself and climb out in record time. As he slides his feet into his shoes, which were dropped outside the window, he turns back to me and pulls me into a quick kiss. Once more, I feel tremors being sent up and down my spine. With a smile, he sprints away, leaving me alone in my room. From the hallway, I can smell the unmistakable scent of pancakes. Grandma must be pulling all the stops. I don't even hear the sounds of the television. Guess that means Grandpa's helping in the kitchen or out running an errand. I'm a little disappointed that Kyouji couldn't just come out and join us, but that would have been a bit difficult to explain. Good morning, Grandma. Wow, it smells great in here. Grandma gives me a nod over her shoulder as she drizzles vanilla extract over fresh pancake batter. Good morning, dear. I trust you slept well? It takes everything I have to stop myself from blushing. If only she knew. I managed to get your grandfather out of bed to help. Figured we'd spoil you one last time this summer. I smile, even though her use of last time is bittersweet, reminding me that I won't be back here for some time. Still, I have plenty to look forward to. Is Grandpa even here? I don't hear the television. Grandma looks back over her shoulder and grins, nodding her head towards the door. He's just waiting for the newspaper. I really hope Kyouji has enough time to run the newspaper route this morning. We didn't exactly set any alarms. Would it be okay if I took a quick shower, Grandma? Grin widening, she nods once again. Of course. This will be ready by the time you're done. 1 hour later. Grandma and I look up from our plates as we notice Grandpa standing in the hallway. He places the newspaper he's holding down on the table and glances at me as if he's letting me in on a big secret. Aichi was right about that Takahara kid. He was a little late today, but he's quite the runner. I'd even be willing to bet he'll get snatched up by a college scout this year. Oh dear, you're going to jinx that poor boy. Grandpa smiles and gestures to the hallway. I know a good bet when I see one. 1 hour later. I hope this isn't a bad time. I can't help but smile. How fast did he run in just an hour? Speak of the devil and he appears. Or so they say. Come in and sit down, Kyouji. You look like you just ran a marathon. I might as well have. I was a little late this morning, so I decided to sprint my entire route. How many kilometers is that? I'm sure Shiro can let you take it easy. Smile on his face widening, Kyouji turns to face me. Can't help but smile back, my tail giving a happy swish. Yes, but today is a very important day. Grandma glances at the Labrador, and for a moment I wonder if she caught how Kyouji phrased his response. If she did, she doesn't reveal it, instead gesturing to the breakfast table. I guess it is. Oh, she knows. Oh, she fucking knows. Now sit and join us for some pancakes and juice. Nah. Here in America, I'm pretty sure we measure distance by bald eagle divided by Big Mac. If I may, I'll just have juice, please. I wasn't kidding about the sprinting. As Grandma stands and wanders over to the refrigerator, leaning close to Kyouji and whisper to him, "Hey, are you alright? You're not dizzy or lightheaded, are you?" No, it's just a bit humid today. I probably stink, though. Wait, what? I have to choke back a laugh as Grandma suddenly reaches out to scratch the back of his head. A working man's sweat is never a bad thing. Oh, she definitely knows. She knows. I'll leave you boys alone. Oh, God. She winks at me before disappearing down the hallway. Oh, she knows. Oh, God. Well, we're gonna die. It was nice knowing you all, and now we're gonna die. Take a moment to lean forward in my chair, just in case I spot one of her whiskers poking from around the kitchen door frame. I don't want to alarm you, but I think my grandma may know about you and I. But I'm more concerned about you. Are you feeling okay? His smile returning, the canine nods. She heard, oh no. Hang on. I'm gonna Google something real quick. Hey... You know what? I'm gonna do my old science teacher's method. Dear Google, how do I disappear and drop off the face of the earth and into the sun so I can die? Dungeons and Daddies. What the fuck? What the fuck? I have to know. What the fuck? You know what? I'm gonna Google that. I don't even know anymore. I don't even know any. I just Googled something. I didn't use TikTok or something. I just Googled something. I'm ready for death now. It was the closest thing to what I searched, which was, Dear Google, how do I disappear and drop off the face of the earth and into the sun so I can die? Very first result, Reddit r/Dungeons and Daddies, which is apparently a Dungeons and Dragons podcast. This is my life now. This is my life now. Yeah, I'm gonna listen to it. His smile returning, the canine nods. I'm fine, hero. I actually saw a few people out and about. And I saw Kuya's motorcycle at the Yoshima Inn. I bite my lip, trying to feel flattered at the implied reason Kuya might be there today. Everyone is getting together to say goodbye to our last summer together. So this is it, huh? It's why I rushed through my route. I don't want you to walk to the bus stop alone. I squeeze Grandpa one last time as he ruffles my hair and heads back in through the door, leaving just the three of us on the porch. Grandma opens her arms wide to offer me one last hug before my journey back to Osaka. Osaka, not home. I gladly accept the invitation and lay my head on her shoulder, the slow rocking of her upper body soothing the sudden cold I'm feeling in my stomach. I'm proud of you, Hiroyuki. I know there are other things you have to tell us, but I love you just the same. And I'm happy you found someone to share your love with. I freeze, slowly raising my head to stare dumbstruck at the smile she's directing at Kyouji. Grandma chuckles as my boyfriend and I stare at each other in shock. As we're having dinner a couple nights ago, and as luck would have it, I heard voices from outside. Imagine my surprise to see my grandson kissing one of his childhood friends goodnight. Can we explode? My face goes bright red, my tail swinging around me defensively. Grandma chuckles, swishing her own tails mischievously. Kyouji takes a step closer to us, obviously anxious but clearly reading my discomfort. I can't explain. Before Labrador can continue, my grandmother reaches out and catches him by the shoulders, bringing him into our hug. You only live once, dear. What happens in life may be unexpected, but you should both spend it loving and being loved. It gives meaning to everything we do. The time you have together is precious. And I expect to have you here for dinner next time Hiroyuki visits. Her voice cracks with the strain of emotion she's feeling, but her smile widens nonetheless. Yamato will undoubtedly have a lot of questions, but I'm sure he will understand. Is that Grandpa's name? Yamato? Oh, nice. I can't help but chuckle as she releases the both of us. My eyes glisten as I glance over at Kyouji, who looks just as emotional as I am. I've been pretty emotional this summer, I must admit. I love you, Grandma. Thank you for not looking at me any differently. She smiles at me and gives me one last kiss on the forehead. Go catch your bus, dear. And be sure to call when you get home safe. As she turns to go back inside, she pauses and looks over at Kyouji. Her smile widens and she chuckles softly. I expect to see you for dinner sometime this week, Kyouji. Bring your sister too. I'd like to thank her for my new pet fish. With a small nod, she walks through the door and disappears inside. I stand silently for a few moments, trying to memorize all the little details that have changed about this house since I was a child. When I come back, will it still look like this? She's right. One day I'm going to come home, and she and Grandpa won't be here. Life is too short to not spend it around people you love. As I turn my attention towards the canine, he approaches me before taking my hand. We'll make our own summers when you're ready. As we arrive at the bus stop, I can see all of my friends are here, with the exception of Taro. However, in his place, I notice the last person I expect to see. She acknowledges my presence with a smile before turning to her conversation with Shun. I wonder if she knows yet. So, which is better? Taken aback by the Husky's question, watching as an uncomfortable expression makes its way to the Labrador's face. That's a very personal question to ask, Kuya. You're no fun. Although... I can't fight the smile that comes to my face as my boyfriend interrupts the Husky, especially when he looks at me with an enigmatic smile. There's something to be said about a new experience. Maybe you should try it. I'm not sure I like the way Kuya glances over at me as if seriously considering what he was just told. Maybe I will. What do you say, Hiroyuki? You want to try it with me? I don't think it's possible for my face to get any hotter. A cheese umaibo, dummy! Oh, that's what you're talking about. Taking a step back, I narrow my eyes, attempting to compose myself as the two canines chuckle at their antics. I've said my goodbyes to almost everyone, only to suddenly hear footsteps from behind me. Turning around, my eyes widen as I see a pair of familiar yellow eyes. From the way she's carrying herself, it would seem she has a lot on her mind. Taking a chance, I bow my head respectfully. Good morning, Sayu. She gives a slight nod of her head in return, saying nothing as she stops in front of me. She maintains her silence as she stares at me before the beginnings of a smile appear on her lips. Take care of him, Hiroyuki. My eyes widen as I realize what this means. With a gulp, I lower my gaze to the ground. Yes! Facing the courage to look up at the canine, I watch as she brushes a hand through her bangs, glancing back over at Kyouji. I will admit, there is a part of me that is sad. I thought that Kyouji and I would get back together. I even tried during the Bond Festival, but he refused me. At first I wasn't sure why, but as time went on, I came to realize something. Sayu closes her eyes, taking in a deep breath before continuing. His heart never truly belonged to me. Even when we were dating, there was a part of him I didn't know about. And then when I heard that he quit playing soccer, I was confused. I knew he was going through a rough patch, but... The canine breathes out a heavy sigh and opens her eyes. When I offered to provide him with a distraction, I admit I didn't take his rejection well at the time, but then... I saw when you were there. He showed an unknown part of himself and didn't hesitate to accept comfort from you. You were there for him when he wouldn't let anyone else be. Slowly fidgeting with her hands, she looks right at me. For a brief moment, I see many different emotions flash through her eyes. Kyouji told me a few days ago what had happened. About what he learned about his father. And that he had kissed you the night before. I freeze, hearing the words over and over again. With a soft gulp, I glance over at my boyfriend, the Labrador, deep in conversation with Juichi. He told you about that? When I turn back to face Sayu, she's giving a shy smile. With a nod, she continues to explain. He told me that you'd been spending a lot of time together, and that he'd become comfortable with you being there. When you returned home from the camping trip, he began to realize just how much you meant to him. But perhaps the seeds had been planted before then. Smoothing out her skirt, the canine gives a soft sigh. I realized that he'd fallen in love with you, so... I told him to listen to what his heart was telling him. I opened my mouth to say something, but no sound comes out. I'm stunned at what she's telling me. All this time, I was worried about what she'd feel. I'm sorry. The words escape me before I have the chance to think. It just felt right. Sayu's smile widens as she shakes her head, brushing aside her bangs. You shouldn't be. Kyouji's with who he's meant to be with, so don't stay away for too long, okay? With a smile of my own, I nod. I promise. Giving one last bow, Sayu walks over to the rest of my friends, leaving me standing by myself. It won't be long now. In a few moments, the bus will be taking me away. Away from the place I call home. And away from the man I love. Taking a deep breath as I hear the footsteps approaching me. I don't need to look to know who they belong to, but as my boyfriend stops beside me, I turn my attention to him. A sad smile decorates his features as our eyes meet. Promise me you'll still love me tomorrow. A little twitch of his lips sends me jumping over my luggage and stumbling into his arms. Forever! We hold each other tight as the unmistakable sound of the bus approaches, neither wanting to let the other go. Look after everyone for me. More importantly, look after yourself. Kyouji tightens his hold on me, and I can feel the sharp intakes of breath as he gives, as he tries his hardest to stay composed. I promise. As the bus sounds out its arrival, I lean my face back, giving the Labrador the opportunity to press his lips to mine. And I don't care if the entire world witnesses. If it wants Hiroyuki Nishimura to be complete, it will let me come back to this. Breaking our kiss a moment later, Kyouji reaches down and lifts my luggage for me. Are you ready to go? Yeah. My response isn't to the driver, but to my boyfriend as I turn to climb the steps of the bus. It's empty inside, so I take a seat at the back so I can watch everyone. 5 years ago, I was watching a lone tiger crying his eyes out in the middle of the road. But this time it's much different. Ow! Ow! The doors close and the bus begins to move. As I look out at my friends, I see his face. Tears are flowing from his eyes, but a small smile graces his lips as he reaches up to blow a kiss to me. That hurt! You better do it again! I hold my hand out the open window to catch it with 2 fingers. A memento from the man I love. As everyone shrinks in the distance, I breathe out a sigh and prepare to settle into my seat for the ride. Suddenly I catch sight of an orange and blue blur flying out from the trees. Like a bullet, it races down the road as if shot from an invisible cannon somewhere in the woods. I can barely believe the speed Taro has reached in order to catch up to where I'm sitting on the bus. Let alone that I'm seeing him at all, considering the revelations of the past few days. Stops to wave, calling out to me from the side of the road. "See ya, Mr. Nishimura, come back soon!" I flash the lion a peace sign, confirming that I will indeed return. The fucker teleported. Doesn't take long for him to fade out of view, and I sit back into my seat. With a sigh, I let the events of the past month flood my mind like precious photographs. My summer vacation is over. Ah! Ah! Well, to be fair, I'm pretty sure Torahiko is the fucking mascot. Yeah, I'm pretty sure Torahiko's the mascot. Oh, hi, car. Yeah, I'm gonna save my tears. Nanafuse. Forever! Ah! No, it's not Nanafuse box, it's Nanafuse. You can continue. I'm pretty sure Nanafuse is a him. Also, I did see the special thanks. Thank you. Ah! That is my response. Just scream. Ah! I'm pretty sure Nanafuse is a him. Actually, what, like, sound is that? The music box. Like, what VST is that? Or xylophone. Yeah, what VST is that, if you happen to know? I had a suspicion you were faster than most vehicles. I guess I was right. As my former junior turns to face me, I lower my gaze to the ground. I'm sorry, Taro. I guess your mom told you everything about... You don't need to say anything, Mr. Takahara. This ain't your sin to bear. Do you really believe that? It ain't your sin to bear. Taro shakes his head as he responds, balling his hands into fists and bringing them against his chest. I don't want to lose the first friend I made after he was gone. I don't care what happened to your dad. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm different from you. Can't help but smile and rest a hand on his shoulder in a reassuring way. You don't need to be like me. I wish I was like you, senpai. I wish I was like Dad. Closing my eyes, I breathe a heavy sigh. When I finally reopen them, I know just what to say. You know, all this time, I don't think you've ever told me what he was really like. The lion smiles, rubbing the back of his head. It was the best! Mom used to not be scared, unlike how she is now. She didn't start acting like that until Dad was gone. Sounds like he always knew what he was doing. Just like you, I know you just stayed distant so you don't worry about us, but it always meant a lot. Dad wasn't really invincible, but believing he was made me feel like I could be too. Suddenly he reaches into his pocket and pulls out what looks like a miniature watch. I bought this pocket watch for Dad one year on Father's Day. I was still in elementary school, so Mom helped pick it out. Dad never wore a watch or carried anything fancy like this, but I just saw it in anime one day and felt like it was the perfect gift. I want you to have this, Mr. Takahara. Look at him in surprise before giving a vigorous shake of my head. No, I can't accept this, Taro. It meant the world to you. That's exactly why I want you to have it. Then maybe a little piece of Dad will still be out there and make things better. I know he'd have loved to meet ya. I pull Taro into an embrace, the tears that have built up flowing down my cheeks. Thanks, Taro. I'd have loved to meet him too. Stay safe, have a good night, and I will see you all tomorrow.